Krishnadevaraya, considered the greatest of the Vijayanagar kings, he built upon the strong military base laid by his father and elder brother. He tried to keep the greatness of the kingdom intact by undertaking many military expeditions. Even in his reign, he fought with the rebellious Ummatur chief and brought him to submission. The Brahmani sultans and other traditionally the Brahmani sultans and the other against the Orissa king Gajapati. There are several inscriptions graphically describing the season of many forts like Udayagiri under the control of Gajapati during the course of this eastern expedition. Finally, he put a pillar of victory at Simhachalam. Krishnadevaraya had to undertake more than one expedition to repulse the Bahmani forces. He got permission to build the Portuguese in some of these ventures. The Portuguese trying to establish their power in the Malabar and the Konkan coast helped Krishnadevaraya with military aid and got permission to build a fort at Batkal. Though he was quite successful for a time, his victories made the warring Bahmani sultans to become united for their survival. There are many reasons to be for the celebration of Krishnadevaraya as the greatest ruler of Vijayanagar. He made very large donations to many of the greatest Shiva and Vishnu temples, Sri Sailam, Tripati, Kalagasti, Kanchipuram, Tiruvannamalai, Chidambaram. He added towering gopuras to many of those temples which survive to this day. Contemporary foreign visitors like Pace and Nunis who visited Vijayanagar left glowing tributes to his personality. He was also his court was also with poets like Alasani, Peddana, Nandi Timmana. He himself is a great scholar and is author of famous poem Amukta Malyada, the story of Andal. For his crowning achievement as a clever administration was the reorganization of the Nayak or the Nayankara system and giving legal recognition to the system. The Battle of Talikota. After Krishnadevaraya's death, his son was a small child, and so his younger brother Achyuta Devaraya became the king. So succession dispute started at Ramaraya as the son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya wanted to dominate the affairs by crowning the infant as king. Achyuta Devaraya was however supported by Chellappa, known as Saluva Nayak, the greatest Nayak of the day who controlled a major part of the Tamil area. Soon after however, Chellappa became a rebel himself and Achyuta Devaraya had to take a big expedition to the south to subdue him. He had some encounters with the Deccan Sultans too. After his death in 1542, his nephew Sadasiva Raya succeeded him and ruled for about 30 years, 1542 to 70. But real power lay in the hands of Ramaraya, who got support from many of his close kinsmen of Aravid clan by appointing them as Nayak of many strategic localities. Ramaraya, a great warrior and strategist, was able to play off the Bahmani Muslim powers against one another. He entered into a commercial treaty with the Portuguese whereby the supply of horses to the Bijapur ruler was stopped. He fought with the Bijapur ruler and after some time he allied with the Bijapur ruler against Golconda Ahmednagar. This divide and rule policy provoked much enmity against Vijayanagar. Forgetting their mutual quarrels, the Deccan states joined hands to wage the last great battle against their common enemy. The battle was fought at Talikota or Rakshasi Tangadi in January 1565, in which Ramaraya, in spite of his old age, personally commanded the forces with his cousins and brothers. In the final stages, the battle was lost. Ramaraya was imprisoned. The victorious Bahmani army entered the Vijayanagar history for the first time in the history and ransacked it for several months. This battle is generally considered the signal for the end of Vijayanagar. The king Sadasiva Raya and some of his retinue escaped to Penukonda. Tirumala, the brother of Ramaraya, declared himself king in 1570, starting the Aravidu, that is the fourth dynasty. After his sons and grandsons ruled the truncated kingdom for two generations, probably up to 1630. There were some kings who ruled as fugitives until 1670 without a permanent capital. Real power was wielded by the many Nayak chiefs in various parts of the country. In 1601, there was fighting between near Uttaramerur and between the loyalist Yachama Nayak of Berumbedu and Nayak of Vellore. In this quarrel, Vellore Nayak was substituted by Chanjavur, Madurai, Senji Nayak, who had become independent rulers. In 1400, there were 5 Rajas in the Tamil area: Chandragiri, Padaivedu, Valudalampattu, Tiruchirappalli, and Thiruvarur. The Pradhani was either a royal member or a military officer not related to the royal family. The Pradhani had his own accounts and military to assist his administration. Within each Rajya, there were smaller administration divisions like Nadu, Simha, Tostalas, Kampana. The lowest unit was, of course, the village. The Rajas learned their administrative and revenue status under the Tuluva dynasty due to the development of the Nayak system under the Krishnadevaraya. The term Nayak is used from 13th century onwards in Telugu and Kannada areas in the sense of a military leader or simply soldier. Assigning the revenue of a particular locality to Nayak for their military service is found in the Kakatiya kingdom during the 13th century. This is similar to the Ikta system practiced by the Delhi Sultanate at that time. But in the Vijayanagar kingdom, the regular assignment of revenue yielding territory in return for military service is clearly found only from 1500 or little earlier. Inscriptions refer to this revenue assignment as Nayakattanam in Tamil, Nayakatnam in Karnataka, Kannada, and Nayakaram in Telugu. The practice became established during the reign of Krishnadevaraya and Achyuta Devaraya. This is supported by the evidence of inscriptions and by the accounts of Nunes and Pace. Nunes says that the Vijayanagar kingdom at the time was divided between more than 200 captains. His translation, and they were compelled in turn to keep certain number of military forces to serve the king in times of need. Nunes' statement is also supported by Telugu work Rayavachakamu, which refers to the practice during the time of Krishnadevaraya. Later day Vamsavali's family history, Palayagars, who were mostly successors of old Nayak families, support the fact that the Nayak system was perfected during the time of Krishnadevaraya. The non-Brahmana Nayak again had different social backgrounds: traditional warrior groups, pastoral forest clans, Yadava Billama peasant families, Reddy merchants, and so on. Some of the prominent Nayak like the Chellappa and Krishnadevaraya were Brahmanas. This system worked smoothly as long as there was strong prince like Krishnadevaraya. These chiefs controlled production within their Nayakatanam territories by creating commercial centers, fairways and markets, by encouraging settlements. After the Talikota battle, most of the Nayak chiefs became independent of the Vijayanagar king. Some of them, like those of Madurai, Tanjavur, Ikkeri, etc., established powerful states controlling many smaller chiefs under them. The 17th century was the century of the bigger Nayak kingdoms. Continuous warfare and the resultant widespread sufferings from common features of all early and medieval societies. Bahmani and Vijayanagar period is no exception to this. Perhaps the scale looks larger due to the accountability of many eyewitnesses. Vijaypur, the upper echelons in the capital cities like Vijayanagar, Bijapur, and the like, in contrast to spread poverty among the masses, they also refer to the prevalence of slavery. It is found that during the Sangama dynasty, when the Vijayanagar rule was extended to new areas, their officers were harsh in tax collection, and which provoked the toiling people to rise in revolt. One such revolt took place in 1430 in central parts of Tamil Nadu. This was the revolt in which all the basic property producers joined, forgetting their caste differences. The revolt took place due to the unjust and arbitrary tax demands of the government, including the Pradhani, governor, his military bodies, and the landlords. It is said the Vijayanagar prince intervened and pacified the revolting people by allowing tax reduction. During the 16th century, under the Nayak system, the local Nayaks tried to encourage craft production. Vijayanagar period witnessed a striking development in the field of the non-agrarian crafts. Until the 13th century, the economy was mainly agrarian. The non-agrarian groups were called Pattadai workshop people or Kasaya Vargam, that is the group that pays taxes in cash. Large number of commercial and weaving centers came up in northern Tamil Nadu, Rayalaseema and coastal Andhra. Naturally, the textiles formed an important commodity exported from South Indian ports. Textiles became main commercial attractions for the Portuguese and other European traders who started coming from the early 16th century.